Well, hello there. My name is sometimes Heather and I play Elder Scrolls Online. Last time, I took my hybrid healer around Vaults of Madness, and today, I wanted to share her freak build in more detail. ErzieB, the ever-changing, is a High Elf Sorcerer. I have all of our attribute points on Magicka, and we are walking under the Lover Boon to maximize physical and spell penetration. In a previous video, I stated that a healer shouldn't be a stage 4 vampire, and I am totally breaking the rule. I use this build for solo play, and in such, curses don't affect anyone but yourself. When playing with other people, the vampire curse can make everyone's day more difficult, so I would advise against having it. Let's start with champion points. I have stuck to my usual DD setup to make solo play more efficient, so in Warfare my active stars are Fighting Finesse, Weapons Expert, Wrathful Strikes and Untamed Aggression. In Fitness, I have Siphoning Spells, Rejuvenation, Fortified and Boundless Vitality. Craft stars mainly serve to make playing more fun, so do choose your favorites. I have given ErzieB 2 staff weapons. Our backup is a restoration staff with the Absorb Magicka Enchantment. First, we have Critical Search. This grants ErzieB Nature Brutality and Sorcery, which boost weapon and spell damage. While active, Critical Search also heals you when critical damage is dealt. This is a wonderful deal, and I use this often to keep my sorcs alive. I have given ErzieB 3 Scribed Abilities. First, Warding Bond. This ties ErzieB to an ally and grants them both a damage shield and empower, which increases damage done by heavy attacks against monsters. Allies touching the link are also granted these same perks, and once they leave the link, they are healed for a set amount. I'm a bit iffy about this. It's both fun and inconvenient. In solo play, this does require a companion. And when playing with others, you might want to tell your friends to touch the link and not run away from it. Then, Radiating Regen. This is your basic overtime heal. Cost health regenerates. This affects both you and up to 3 allies, so basically your entire 4-person group is healed. Fun. Moving on to our second scribbling, Warding Contingency. There's that difficult word again, contingency. This draws runes on the caster. Once said caster uses an ability with a cost, the runes trigger to grant damage shields to all allies. This also grants minor protection, which decreases damage taken for 22 seconds at a time. This is a fun ability, a bit different to most heals. This doesn't really do anything on its own, but once you follow with, say, Radiating Regen, the runes go whoosh, and everyone's shielded and protected. Joy! Last on this staff, we have Channeled Acceleration from Sigil Skillline. This takes a bit of time to cast, so I like to cast this before anything else. Acceleration grants you minor force, which increases your critical damage by 10% for an entire minute. And when you have a certain Sigil passive, blocking grants you a damage shield. We will return to those in 2 minutes. We have the same ultimate on both staffs. I chose Shooting Star from Mage's Guild. This summons a comet to fall down upon enemies to deal a set amount of flame damage upon impact. After the initial blast, this continues to deal a more moderate amount of flame damage over 13 seconds. Shooting Star also stuns enemies for 2 seconds. I like this ultimate, and I think it goes well with ErzieB's new and improved build. Moving on to our main weapon, which is a lightning staff. I have a basic flame enchant here. I prioritize damage over healing with this solo build, and fire was more useful than Magicka regeneration. First, we have Endless Fury. This summons a lightning to strike a single enemy. If this enemy falls to or below 20% health within 4 seconds of being hit, an explosion that injures all enemies within reach will follow. And if the initial target dies within 5 seconds of being hit, a bit of magicka is restored. This is a fun, effective spammer. Then we have Shock Reach. This one deals a set amount of shock damage both instantly and over time. It also grants enemies the Concussed status effect, which I actually managed to take advantage of. Despite the pretty long cooldown, this is another fun spammer. I don't use Lightning Flood much, but it felt at home here. This deals a set amount of shock damage to all enemies within reach over 10 seconds. And it comes with a synergy. Allies can activate the Conduit synergy to deal even more shock damage to all enemies within reach. Synergies are a bit wasted when you play solo, but this build can work in casual group dungeons, so I figured Lightning Flood and its synergy might be in order. If you are a strict soloer, Pulsar might work well here. And then we have Unstable Wall of Storms. This allows you to create a storm barrier that deals a set amount of shock damage to all enemies within its path, while sending concussed enemies off balance. Concussed, as mentioned, has a chance to come from Shock Reach. Enemies who are off balance can be knocked down with heavy attacks, so be sure to use those. Unstable Wall of Storms is active for 10 seconds at a time. Once the effect ends, Wall of Storms explode to deal even more shock damage. Kaboom! Our last ability is Shocking Explosion, our third scribbling. This takes 2 seconds to cast, and you can be interrupted, so this is a bit tricky to use. This creates an explosion at a target location, which deals a set amount of shock damage to enemies within reach. If an enemy is hit, ErzieB gets a damage shield. Every enemy hit makes the shield stronger. This also grants enemies minor cowardice, which reduces their weapon and spell damage for 20 seconds at a time. This is a fun ability despite the channeling time. As for passives, I would recommend getting all passives from Stormcalling, Destruction Staff and Restoration Staff, Mage's Guild, Setchik Guild and Razel skill lines. That's a lot of grinding, but trust me, it's worth it. My rotation is simpler than the amount of abilities would suggest. I like to cast Channeled Acceleration first and then Critical Surge. If I have a companion, I cast Warding Bond. If not, I move directly onto Warding Contingency. Then I switch to main weapon and open with Shocking Explosion. After that, I cycle my spammers and heavy attacks until Surge runs out and repeat. And if there's just 1 or 2 enemies, I'll just use spammers and call it a day. I have given ErzieB 2 5-piece sets and 1 monster set. Business as usual. First, Darkest Strike, a very common healer set. This is a craftable set from Westfield. I have this covering weapons and jewelry slots. Darkest Strike adds to weapon and spell damage. With a full set on, dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack grants you Major Berserk for 4 seconds at a time. That increases damage done by 10%. I really like this set and would actually like to slap it on all of my rosas. Moving on, we have Trinimax Valor. This is an overland set from Hrothgar. Trinimac adds to maximum magicka and magicka recovery. With a full set on, casting a damage shield summons a fragment of Trinimac to fall down from heavens above to heal allies and to deal damage to enemies. This was a pretty popular healer set back in the day. Lately, the latest fashions have rightfully taken its place, but I wanted to see if it could still hold its own. I noted that only Warding Bond tricks this, so this might not be the best choice after all. For our monster set, I chose Infernal Guardian. This drops from City of Ash 1 when you slay the last boss in Veteran. Shoulders can be purchased from Undaunted vendors. Infernal Guardian adds to maximum magicka. With both pieces on, applying a damage shield has a chance to lob 3 fireballs at enemies to deal a set amount of flame damage to both the target and other enemies within reach. This is an unbelievably fun set, and since most of ErzieB's damage shields, including the Psychic Block, trick this, I have gotten to experience the thrill of protecting friends while toasting enemies. Playing as a healer has intrigued me for a long time, and with this hybrid build, I have gotten a glimpse of what it can be like. Being able to protect, to keep friends alive is a wonderful experience, but being a healer is also really hard. I've noted that friends fail to stand in areas of effect that could buff them, and also have a tendency to run away from tethers that could give them damage shields. That can get a touch frustrating, especially in group dungeons. Maybe next time I'll try a ward and perhaps the fields of flowers are a bit more recognizable. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.